I don't even know if anybody's here, and it's okay because I just want to come on. I just got up. My hours have changed, huh? I can't sleep anymore. It's the hardest thing because I can't lay there anymore. And I just wanted to check in. Hold on a second. I know what this is asking me, so I can't even think straight here. What is this asking me? Okay. So it's, I don't even know what time it was. It was 5:40 something when I got up, 6:18. And I just wanted to thank you all for, all of the, I can't see what this is asking me. Okay. All right. For all of the prayers, all of the support, those of you that have lost children that have connected to me. Yeah, I don't want to be a member of that club. I'd like to take back my membership in that club. And I don't think I'm going to be able to, at least, respond to chat or answer questions. I can just tell you what's going on. And I can't even see chat. I don't even know if anyone is here. But what's happening is that my son is dead. And it's my oldest son, my second child. And he was a beautiful boy. And he was my touchstone, and he was my rock. And he was the one I thought would be there at the end of my life. And instead I'm burying him, but I can't bury him. That's the thing, I can't put him in the ground and leave him. I can't. And I probably have to go to the funeral home today, and I have to go all through that, the funeral home for my son. He still had so much more to offer this world. And I don't even have anything. I don't even have a child from him, and nothing from him. It's just gone. And I'm mad at him. Sometimes I'm mad at God. How could he leave us like this? He's always taken care of me, always. And I don't know that I can. I don't know. Some days grief is. You always think you'll react one way, and I when I had Luke, there was like a complication after he was born, and he wasn't breathing, and I went into this state of like numbness, totally not the panic mode that I've had when my kids have gotten hurt and other times, and I cursed myself for that. I said, what was I uncaring, unfeeling, that I went into this numbness where I came out of my body? And when I almost lost Ray when he was 21 months old, we were at a function, and my mother had her blood pressure medication in her bag, and he took it, and we didn't know, and he collapsed on the floor. I thought he was dead. I came out of my body in this weird thing, saying, Carol, you used to have 2 kids, and now you have 1. And then I snapped back into it, and I panic mode again in the ambulance, and he was okay. But when I got that call the other night, I knew he was dead. They didn't want to tell me he was dead. They didn't want to tell me. I was begging just to tell me. I wanted some hope. I didn't want to know he was dead. I wanted some hope. But I knew he was dead when they wouldn't give it to me. They wouldn't give me any hope. They just told me, you need to come down here. You need to come down here right away. Right away. And still when I write this stuff, I don't believe it's true, because I haven't seen him yet. And with all this quarantine, I haven't seen him since the very end of February. So, though I've spoken to him all the time. And I call his number. I still call his number. So, I mean, I don't know. Oh, God. It's hard. My friend from high school, it's not from high school, what am I talking about? My friend from my entire life, since we were 4 years old, called me yesterday. And it's hard to talk about it. It's hard. There's a numbness that comes over you. And that numbness came over me when I left here. And I was so taken back by that numbness, okay? Because while I didn't see my son, while I begged them to let me see my son so it could be real for me, because, I told the medical staff, I said, why am I like this? Why am I like this? Why do I feel nothing? And they said, it's because you're in shock, and you're in denial. That's what you're in. This is your stage of grief right now, because you can't cope with anything else. And so they're right. And then even when we got home, it wasn't real because I have not seen him. So I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. And then if you read my blog post, I just wanted to be outside. In fact, when I left, there was a big full moon. And I called his name, and I just had to have him give me some kind of sign. And yet the only sign I got was that song that was playing when I was talking to medical personnel and everything. Heaven must be missing an angel because my angel child is here with me tonight, or something like that. Or at least those are the lyrics that I heard. And I knew my child was an angel, and I knew he was there. But it doesn't seem real. It doesn't. It seems real sometimes when I'm lying in bed and a wave of it will come, some memory, and I will feel like I want to rip my skin off and run from my bed and just run, get in my car and run. Maybe it's a good thing my car's not reliable, because I probably would run away. And then the numbness comes. Right away the numbness comes. So I remembered that book that I bought all those years ago, and I couldn't find it, but I bought it on Amazon, and I bought another one. And these mothers who have lost their children spoke to everything I was feeling, that numbness. The mother described it. Her son died 17 in a hiking accident in Yosemite, and she was home, and they came to her house and told her, and she said she knew immediately, he's dead. Tell me he's dead. He's dead, right? And then she said, as soon as the officer told her, the same exact feeling, almost the out-of-body experience. You're someone else, you feel nothing. Like I even told Jimmy I could drive. I said, I'm perfectly fine. I feel nothing. That's exactly what I said. I feel nothing. And then I found out it's what they felt. And thank you for the super chats. I can see them going up, but I can't even see the names or anything. I'm so sorry. And so going back to just where I am, it's like Jimmy says last night, I don't know, it was 11, 12 o'clock. Let's go to bed. We can stay and talk for a while, and we did, and I cried and cried when I think that, that he's not going to be here on Christmas anymore, and he's not going to be here on Easter, and he's my touchstone. And what really hurts me is that only 3 of my children knew my parents. Only 3 knew my parents. My 3 children were incredibly close to my parents, and having lost both of my parents, now I've lost one of the people that I could talk about to them that knew them. And it's another loss. And he was so close to them. And when my mother died, he was 16. And he said, I can't believe, he was looking at her pictures. We were at her house. He said, I can't believe I won't see her again. I can't believe I won't talk to her again. And that's exactly how I feel now. I did sleep. I did sleep. I went to bed I must have fallen asleep around 12. But my parents, my mother died May 8th. My father died May 7th. This is the anniversary of my mother's death. My father died May 7th, 364 days after my mother. And now my son died May 6th. And I think it's some cruel joke, like, well, what is this? Why are you putting all this in May? And one of my closest friends, who lost her husband and her son, lost them last year at this same time, this very same time, this May. And then he put it around Mother's Day. I don't even want to hear about Mother's Day anymore. So, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, because the book that I'm reading, so, I think this club that we get into, it's like Rosemarie D'Alessandro said, what did her neighbor say? I don't know, what was it, 2 months after her daughter died, or 2 weeks after her daughter died? Said, hey, aren't you over that yet? I think that people give you a lot of support in the beginning. And I think that after a while, people don't want to be around it, because especially the loss of a child, it reminds them of their worst nightmare come true. And if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. And that's what I'm a reminder of. And I think that that's what everyone that lost a child is a reminder of. And I think after a while, nobody wants to be around it, or they want to deny it. And I understand that. And I do understand that. And, gosh, it's just, I don't know how I'm going to go on with things, and that's another thing that was in that book. You do feel like you're losing your mind, okay? Because you can't even think straight. Like last night, Jimmy and I were talking and crying up in the bedroom, together crying. And I said, oh my gosh, I don't know if I paid the electric bill. So I had to run down, pay the electric bill. And it's like, this is just a couple of days, and I'm already losing my mind. My son, my 27-year-old, oh gosh, they were inseparable. Those 2 boys were inseparable. And he's trying to be so strong for me, because I'm telling him everything. You have to be so safe. Oh my gosh, watch the way you're driving. Be careful. If something happens to you, I won't. And he's got all this pressure. And he keeps telling me, Mom, don't worry. Nothing's happened to me. I'll be fine. I'll be okay. I'll be here for you, Mom. And it's too much pressure. And his whole business, he said, how am I going to do this? Because our whole business was us together. He said, I've never, ever been apart except when I went on vacation from him for 14 days. He's such a big part of my life. And he's struggling so hard because he can't believe it either. He said, we used to always say, if something happened to you, I would be devastated to each other. And he said, Mommy told me he would never leave me. He would always be here. We would always be doing this together. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. And I think about his laugh, because he had a laugh like mine, but more contagious. And he would always get this smirk and this, he said, oh, I love Luke. Luke is such a funny character. And I was thinking about something, I was talking to Jivy about the smirk and the laugh, and then 3 minutes later I couldn't remember what I said that was about. And how when he was in second grade, his teacher used to say, I'm sarcastic. She was sarcastic. She said it goes over everyone's head. But I look at Ray, and he knows it. She said he's got the expression, he knows, he gets the sarcasm. And he did. And I said that's because he comes from a long line of jokers. But he did. And he and I were like kindred spirits. He was maybe a lot of boys don't say a lot of stuff to their mother, but he told me everything, sometimes too much stuff. And even I'm freaking out over little things like, did I show him this or did I tell him that? And what was I want to know how he feels about everything. And I don't know how I'm going to live with that, not being able to tell him, not being able to show him what I'm doing. And you might remember I told you, and I can't remember what it was, but it was some video or something that I did. And he said, he saw the comments, and he said, Mom, they really like you. Mom, they really like you. And I told you guys then, you know, I just can't imagine not talking to him ever again. I used to think about what song we danced to at his wedding. That will never happen. I wanted to see him as a father. He would have been such an amazing father. He had so many skills, so many talents, fly fishing, everything that he could have taught to his son or his daughter. And I'll never see that. I'll never see his child. I'll never see him as a husband. And last night, Luke's been coming up and sleeping with us. And I put my hand out because I just want him to put his hand in mine. And I'm telling him to please come to me. Come to me, let me know. He's got to let me know. And my other son is doing the same thing. And yesterday, I went out, I had to go outside. I wanted to go outside and sit in the yard. And we've got terrible May bugs. They're so horrible. And I could hear the cardinal singing so loud. I mean, incredibly loud. I wanted to tape it. It was so freaking loud. And then I stood there for a minute and I said, Ray, please, you have to give me a sign. You have to give me a sign that you're okay, that you're here. And the wind picked up, like in Tommy Boy, right, you know, a little bit. And I said, no, I need a smack me in the face sign, Ray. I need a smack me in the face sign. You can't send me something subtle. You can't send me something like the wind. You can't send me the cardinal chirping. You need to send me something big. And I had to sit in my car because the bugs got so bad. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And I can't eat. I have to force myself. I had 2 pieces of toast yesterday, 2 slices of toast yesterday. Like I said, it's to think of even going to sleep. Like when Jimmy said, let's go to sleep, he said, we'll talk until you fall asleep. I couldn't sleep the first night. I tried to take a little, I don't even know if I took a little nap yesterday somehow, but we went to bed. And I guess somewhere along the line I must have fallen asleep, but he didn't come to me. I don't even think I had any dreams at all. And I just can't believe that this was his life. And then, like I said to my daughter and my son, there's not even a little shred of anything. You know, I said to my son, this is like in the movie when some girl comes out and says, oh, look, I had his son, right? I had his daughter. It's what you dream about, some little shred of your son. But there's nothing. There's nothing. And then with this COVID crap robbed us of his last birthday, March 19th. It robbed us of that. We weren't able to celebrate his last birthday together because of this COVID crap. And there was going to be time. We were going to do it. We were going to make up for it when this was all over, right? And it never happened. Never happened. And there will always, how will I ever have Thanksgiving dinner? Because there will always be an empty place. There will always be a painful reminder of he should be here, and he was such an integral part. He was so close to me, and I was so close to him. We weren't far apart in age, because I had my kids. I started having kids young, and he took care of me. And now he's not here. And I used to tell you, I told you guys how scared I am of losing Jimmy, right? And the one thought that used to comfort me was that, well, if the worst of that happens, you could ask yourself, what's the worst thing? If the worst thing happens, Ray will be here. Ray will take care of me. Ray will be here for these young boys. Ray will be there. And now he's not. And now when I'm afraid, I guess when you go through the worst and that happens, I'm afraid of losing everyone now. I'm afraid of losing everyone. And I'm even afraid that I'm going to lose everyone and then myself. Because you can't even go to the doctor with this freaking COVID stuff. And I keep thinking something's wrong with me. So my daughter's like, Mom, it's in your head. It's just because you're going through so much stress. And yeah, I hope she's right. But I just feel like I'm going to lose everyone now. It's horrible. I went through a lot of trauma losing my parents so close. And my friend that's a psychologist, she's like, yeah, of course, you lost your parents. That's why you think. Ever since I lost my parents, I told you guys about this before too, I think about my own death. I think about losing Jimmy. And I couldn't get that out of my head every single night before I go to bed. That was what would hit me. Every single night. And I always calculate ages and when one person died, and how many more years does that make it? And now I lost my son, who I was never expecting to lose there. So now I'm scared to death of losing Jimmy, even 100 times worse, okay? And then losing my other son, and losing my daughter, and then losing I can't even tell you about it. It's just terrible. Because now I just feel so vulnerable that this shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. And I don't know what to do with all of this. So then I bought another book. I told you. So I'm just buying books on Amazon, buying books for, to read electronically, all about losing a child, all about the grief that goes along. And all these women are telling my story. All these women are describing exactly the way I feel. And, and how do you go on with life? And how do you go on? And when do you laugh again? When do you smile again? But, and it's hard when you see, somebody can say, oh, just take some time for yourself. Just go check out, go on a vacation, go. You can't even go on a vacation now, right? You can't even escape anywhere. You can't. And we can't even grieve the way we should be able to grieve. My daughter's got to come up, and my daughter's like, I'm going to have to self-isolate. I won't even be able to hold you. I won't even be able to hug you or anything. And this is what we need to do. This is how we need to do this. And it's horrible because you can't even grieve the way you want to grieve. And just, take time for yourself. I've worked in social media for over a decade. And it's a big part of our income, social media. And if I can't do that again, if I can't get things together and I can't do that again, what's going to happen? That's what I don't understand. And my poor little kids that have been already rattled with this, or what? Going to have their lives in upheaval? Am I going to be what? Looking for a different career? What am I going to do? I don't know. And life goes on. That's the thing. Life keeps going on. And I remember seeing, it's funny, because it's not funny. It's funny, haha. It's funny, strange, funny, weird, funny. One of the last true crime stories that I did was about that Maria Pew Fury, who was killed by her husband and buried in the crawl space. And she was her parents' only child, adopted from Mexico City. And her father said, I never thought I'd be meeting with funeral directors. And my heart went out to them at that time. But I also think about how many of the stories we cover and how many of the lives go on after that. When you watch the news and you hear this person died and that person died and this person died, sometimes you're not understanding the impact that one person has on their family. You go on with your own life as you do. But for that family, that's everything to them. And in a way I found, I think we all do, when it's not happening to us, oh, we're so blessed. Therefore, the grace of God go I. Thank God it's not me, right? Thank God it's not my kid. Thank God that didn't happen to me. And yeah, I was one of those people, and now I'm not anymore. Now I'm not. And life goes on, and then we have to go through with everything. I don't know. I don't know. It's this crazy May. Why everything in May? And I'm struggling. I'm struggling with my faith. I'm struggling. I mean, I had some struggles with it prior, I guess all because of my parents. But then I get signs, and I knew it was more. It had to be more. There had to be more. But now, I can't even, my brother called me yesterday. I can't even talk to my brother. It's how could his life just be that? How could his life just be that? I don't know. I go from being mad at God to, just saying there. I told my sister when she called me yesterday, she said, he's with mom and dad. And I said, oh, stop being stupid. There is no God. That's what I told her. I said, there is no God. What kind of God does this? What kind of God is so freaking cruel that he says, let's see, she lost her mother on May 8th, on Mother's Day, no less. I lost my mother on Mother's Day. Lost her mother on May 8th. She lost her father 364 days later on May 7th. Let me take her son on May 6th. Let me do that. Let me just come out of the blue and just take her son. Let me just take him. I said, you honestly believe there is a God that does that? You honestly believe this? I was furious. She didn't try to convince me. She didn't try to do anything. She just listened, and I was mad. I told Jimmy the same thing. And because I'm mad at God. I am. I'm really, really, really freaking mad at him. And Jimmy's mad too. Like he's been very supportive, helping me. And then yesterday, I don't know, I was sitting on the couch, and then he was talking, he was crying, and then he said, I'm so freaking mad, so freaking mad. And he grabbed a cutting board and he brought it into the kitchen. He said, I'm so mad because you go through this. I'm so mad. Why did this happen? And it just changed our family forever, changed our lives forever. And yesterday when I got up to go to the bathroom, I just wanted to go into the bathroom and scream and be mad, and I clenched my fists. And and Jimmy didn't know. He said, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm okay. I just need to I don't know. And I just keep wanting to go outside. I just keep wanting to go outside. Like he can't be inside. Like he can only be outside. And before he died, he told me things like, he had all these plans. He said, I have my whole life ahead of me. I'm young, and I'm so excited for this. This was one of the last phone calls I had with him. And we always say, I love you, all my kids, everybody. Whenever telephone conversation, Jimmy, it's important to say I love you at the end of your conversation, so it's the last thing you ever say. And he told me that he was happy. He was looking to buy another car. He sent me something. He talked to me about, whatever's going on, the Tiger King or the business or his brother, and what the world was going through. And then I said, okay, I'm going to go, I love you. I love you. That was it. And I tell you, I'm sorry that I see chat going up and I see you guys giving super chat. Thank you so much. I will check back later. I can't read the chat now. I can barely read what's on the screen. But I appreciate you so much, and all the messages you've been leaving me on the blog and in the community. I have been reading every single one of them. And that's when I cry, and it's good. I read those and I cry like crazy over those. And I appreciate that so much, and your emails, and I even if I can't get back to you, I am reading them, and they do mean something to me. And I will look back on this chat, and I will look at the stuff you're saying. I just can't do it now. I just can't do it now. but I will. But it means so much to me. I can't believe the support, and I can't believe the people that have come out that have never said anything, whose name I've never seen, who have said that they were going through a loss and they've been watching this channel. And, you know, and now they've come out and said, oh my gosh, I have to tell you about this loss that this channel was helping me with. And so many of you that have lost children that have reached out to me and told me to call you and ask you anything, and you know, all of that. It's just been incredible. It's been incredible. And but I am reading that, and I do appreciate it so much. And I know I haven't even, it isn't even that real for me because I haven't seen him. And that's, my daughter said, we're going to have to see him. We're going to have to see him at the funeral home because we have to see him. And Elton's going to dress him up, and Elton is the funeral director. And he's in this small town, we know him. And when I said to him, I want to see him. And he said, Carol, you don't want to see him like this, okay? You don't want to see him like this. Let me take care of him. Let me take care of him. And then you'll see him. Okay? And he hugged me, and so I know that he'll take care of him so that when we do see him, we'll see that it's real, because I think I have to see that it's real. As crazy as that sounds. And my daughter too. She said, we'll see him all dressed up. We'll see him. And we're struggling with, we can't put him in the ground. I just can't put him in the ground. I can't put him in the ground and walk away. And so I said that night, and then I asked my son, did he ever talk about anything about, you know, about he said, no, he didn't say that. Then my son said he ran into a friend who lost his brother from a drunk driver, from a crash with a drunk driver, when and he said to my son, Michael, you see this necklace? I had this necklace made. I wear my brother's ashes around my neck. And so my son said the same thing. He said, I don't want to put him in the ground, Mom. I don't want to put him in the ground either. So he said, I want to wear, you know, I want to wear him. And then I thought, oh, wow, I've heard of the jewelry before, but I hadn't thought about it. And I thought, wow, yeah. So, but that's hard too, you know? You don't think about it, but it's hard too, because, yeah, no matter what, dust to dust, right? One way or another. But it's like, how do you do that to your boy, right? How do you do any of it? How do you leave him in the ground? How do you turn him into ashes? His body. But how could I leave him in the ground? I don't know. I can't do it. I can't do it. So. And thank you guys. I hear the sounds. I can't even see. Thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you. I see somebody's talking about jewelry. Yeah. So I'm just. I'm thinking about, what do I want to put with him? What do I want to... I never thought I'd have to do this, really. No mother does. No mother wants to do this. And all the things that you look forward to, they're not going to happen anymore, And a lot of the things we don't talk about because they're just too bad to talk about. And still I write it down. When I write down my son died, it still doesn't seem real. And I keep remembering something like maybe someone posting something and saying, oh my gosh, either I couldn't remember or it's one of those stupid deja vu things, but the first time you write it and then you post it and then it becomes somewhat real. And I wanted to wake up. Remember, I had a dream about them dying, both of my sons dying. And now my other son is so afraid of that dream. He's like, Mom, you had a dream. It was so real of us dying. And now, gosh, I think of that, he says. And I said, yeah, somebody in the chat said to me that meant long life. Not in this case. And I just hope I don't lose my other son, because thinking the worst. But anyway, I thought because of that dream, I kept saying, I just want to be dreaming. Normally, when things happen, like Jimmy's always like, it'll be all right. Like, no matter what it is, it's all right. And he's not coming through the door, and he's not saying it's all right anymore. And Jimmy even said to me, no, it's not going to be all right this time. This time it's not all right. And he's always said that to me. Everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. It'll all be all right, no matter what it is. It'll all be all right. And it's not. It's not this time. And I said, I just wanted to be dreaming. I just kept, even with the medical person, I just said, this is a dream. Tell me this is a dream. This is a dream. I'm going to wake up. This is a really vivid dream, but it's a dream. It's a dream. And I told Luke too, I said, I want it to be a dream. And he said, when they pinch you, then you know, right? So he said, do you feel that? And I said, yeah. And then he said, it's not a dream. It's not a dream. And the little boys, he played with the little boys. He was going to take them fishing and all this stuff he should have done. All the big brother they had to look up to, and just our family is ripped apart. And I think too, with my parents, another reason I doubted, and I doubt these guys, my parents, another grandfather, how did they not, why did they pull him towards them instead of pushing him back? How could they do that? I know my mother and father would never do that to me. Why did they pull him towards them instead of pushing him back? And then I said to Jimmy, maybe when he was in that state of, whatever, this seeing my parents see was just too, he went towards that love. But then I don't know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I couldn't sleep. Everybody's sleeping. We went to bed, like I said, around 12, and I woke up at 5:40 something. And I just, had to come down. I had to talk. I don't want to wake anybody up, but I just can't lay there because I get bad thoughts. And I said, I'm just going to try, because I think everybody's been telling me to rely on this community. Oh, you built a strong community. Rely on it now. Rely on it. Let this. So then why wouldn't I want to talk to the people that support me? Why do I want to talk to the people that are holding me in prayer? Why do I want to talk to them? Why wouldn't I let them see me? The rawness of it all. How do you have someone's support if you can't even connect with them? So it may be like this, and it may be hard, and it may be hard. I've never done this. I've never lost a child. And I keep wanting to call him. It's so crazy. Even when I'm talking about the loss, I keep saying, I want to call him. And, I never had that with my mother. Like, my sister would say, oh, when something happens and you want to call mom. No, because my mother's death was so real to me. It wasn't because my mother had a massive stroke. I spent the night in the hospital with her. I begged her to come out of it. It was like 4 days of that. We had to take her off life support. So when my mother died, I knew my mother was dead. And I guess something with my brain, I didn't think ever, I would hear people say that, I want to call that person. But I didn't have that with my mother because it was so final. And even with my father, it was the same thing. And I didn't understand that. And now, though, with my son, I'll be reading that grief book, I'll be crying, and then I'll be like, oh, you know what, I want to call him and tell him this, or with him I have it. And I don't know, and I've texted him on in our text saying, where are you? I love you. Where are you? I've sent him texts. And I've called him. And I'm trying to find anything, any shred of anything. And then there was something weird in my phone, right? So I had called him. I think it was during a live. It was like at 2 a.m. to ask him about that stupid whistle, which I never got an answer about. I never got an answer about the whistle. And when I went back to look at that call about what time I placed it, in my outgoing calls, you pull up the little the information about that call. And in something that I've never seen before called notes, it says, oh, okay, Mom. And I'm saying, oh, okay, Mom. I know I've never seen that there before. And now when I go on his calls, in the notes it says, oh, okay, Mom. So I just think, my gosh, how your life changes in an instant. We were having fun. Oh gosh. And I was getting these calls from potential spam. And then these calls came in from a number I didn't know and then I was like, what is going on? So I just kind of like answered it, but I let it go. And then I said, oh my gosh, on the third time, I said, I have to pick this up. And that's when my life changed forever. I don't understand. You know, and then I have these bad feelings too. Like, I have 5 brothers and sisters. They all have kids. You know, I said to Jimmy, I know it's bad. I know it's bad to say it, but why did I have the son with cancer? Why do I have a son that dies? Why? It makes me think that, I don't know, am I such a bad person that everything you hold most sacred has to happen to them? You have all kinds of crazy thoughts. But like, you know, something's like, couldn't it be a little more balanced? I don't know. And then you feel horrible for thinking that. And then you go back to, I'm a terrible person. That's probably... My daughter keeps saying, Mom, no, you're not. You're a good person. You're a good person. This didn't happen because of that. I don't know. It's just... I guess I'm looking for something, you know, like more profound. When someone dies, sometimes you hear these stories, oh, we had this, we had that. Our conversations were good, but they were normal. I keep looking for anything, hoping that maybe there's some kind of a journal, some kind of anything that just would let me see a little more, have some last things about my son that I don't know about. You know, when you hear those people that come to you and they say, oh, look, I have this or I have that, or he was this or he was that. I have a few of that. People's friends of his posting about how much they loved him and what memories they have of him. And but I just... And he was so close to me, you see. And then I have bad thoughts about that too, like... That's what I mean about the cruelness. Like, why, Ray? Why? You know, it just... And just, too, the cruelness that I can't even talk about. It's one less person I could talk about my parents with. One less person. And then I just think, oh gosh, with the little boys especially, at least they had 2 big brothers, you know, they have a big sister, but I mean a male influence. Now they only have 1 big brother left. And I just feel like I'm losing everyone. And at times I think, like I tell you, I think I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. What if I have this? What if I have that? It can't go. And then at times I think, well, maybe then it's just what I want. Maybe that'll be a relief to me. I don't want to be a member of this club. I don't think anybody should be a member of this club. This club is not a good club to be in. I can see some chat. I feel like I'm losing my mind because I can barely read stuff, and I will go back at the chat, and I will look at it. And like I said, I appreciate everything, and I am reading everything. But I still want it to be a dream. He was 31, and it was a tragic accident. Unexpected, out of the blue. Wednesday. What is today? Friday? What is today? What is today? Today is Friday? Is today Friday? I don't even know. Wednesday. It didn't happen yesterday, the day before. Wednesday. Friday, yeah. Yeah, it happened Wednesday. Today's the anniversary of my mother's death. Keep having all this. When you have when you're hypothyroid, sometimes you have these like twinges in your neck or something. And when I had the nodules in my neck, and when they were doing the biopsy, I didn't know whether it was cancer or it wasn't cancer, and I would feel this, and I say to Jimmy, I feel this pulling, something's got to be wrong, I'm so afraid. Well, it came back, it wasn't cancer, and then the nodule shrunk, and what I read is like sometimes they come. but I feel this like pulling and this, and every time I feel that, I'm like, oh gosh, right? You know, what's wrong? And even though I know that you could have that and did the biopsies, everything's fine. And a lot of times it can be, I think your stress level gets you, but I just like, I'm thinking the worst about everything now, and now that stupid colonoscopy I couldn't have. You know, you can't even have it now, and I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, what if I'm dying of this? What if I'm dying of that? And then again, I go back to the thing, well, maybe then that'll be a relief. I don't know. I'm just going, driving myself crazy. And I know that it hasn't hit me, and I think I have to go to the funeral home today. And you know, I don't know, but I just said I couldn't sleep, but I couldn't lay there, and Jimmy and Luke laying there, I don't want to just lay there. But it's like I want to get out. Like I keep saying, I want to get out. I want to get out. I want to get out. I want to look at, be in the woods of these stupid Maybugs. And so I have to sit in the freaking car to look off into the woods. And but I don't want to be a drag on everybody, and I don't want to be known as, well, we used to like her, but now she's such a freaking drag. Now it's such a freaking drag to be around her, because she'll forever be known about that lady we used to watch on YouTube. You know the one? Yeah, the one that son died? Yeah, and then it became such a freaking drag. And I don't want to be someone that no one wants to be near, because you remind them of the worst thing. And that's what I'm scared of. I'm scared of, everybody's talking about all this support, but I'm scared of losing that. I'm scared of losing that because no one wants to be around me, because I'm a reminder of horrible things. And that's scary. You know, that's scary. The chat is moving. I will read it, but I am seeing what you're saying, and it's... I appreciate it, and thank you all for the super chats and everything. I will look at them later, I promise. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you being there, and I'm going to need it. I'm going to need it. Last year I helped a friend go through something similar. Again, this freaking May. And the night before last, when I was numb and I got up and I went in the bathroom and I called her. And she spoke to me, and she can understand things. But she always says, you saved my life. She always says that to me, you saved my life. I don't feel I saved her life. But she still tells me I saved her life. And when I doubt the existence of God, I say, how in the world would the two of us ever meet up through this crazy, crazy, crazy internet, find out that she's also from New York and grew up not even far from where I am. London now, actually came over, stayed with me, which was you wonder if you'll have that same chemistry that you've had over there. It's not that we were joking, not that we're dating, but yeah, it's hard. You meet somebody in person, and it was the same. It was like, it was not awkward at all. And then I said to her, my gosh, why is this all in May? Like, how could this just be coincidence? Like, was this all prearranged so I would help you, you would help me? I don't know. I don't think that that's a coincidence. I think it's... And I was actually worried, I was worried how I was going to help her through this Mother's Day, because her son was born on Mother's Day. And I've been worried because I know it's coming up, and it's and all of that. And then look at this, life changes on a dime. And then somebody mentions, I think it was her too, Rosemarie D'Alessandro. Why did I connect up with Rosemarie D'Alessandro just when I did? And the questions that I was asking her, about what do you do for someone that lost a child, and what is the right things that you should do, and you remember she said, just be there. Just bring a cake by, be there. Don't be like that neighbor that says, hey, aren't you over this yet? Bring something for the kids, she said. She had young kids. She said, stop by, bring something for the kids. Do something for the family. Cook a meal. Bring something. Do something. Don't say, hey, aren't you over this yet? But and I have been going to the prayer groups that Rosemarie has, and last week I was praying for someone, and now can't even believe it, not even a week, and my son is gone. So but yeah, some people say God brings the people you need into your life, and I've always believed that God will put the right people in your path. So while I go from being angry and saying there is no God, stop being so stupid, there is no God, God would do this, I go back to that. That's it. my son died. Who just said, somebody said, what happened? My son died. But, yeah. I was just laying there in bed. And said, I'm going to go on. I don't know. I'm going to say something. You know, I heard a well-meaning friend who did call me before she went on last night. And I can't really listen to a lot of stuff. I can't. I know Duty Ron, my husband, did something. And again, I appreciate all the love and support from not only the community, the other creators. Oh, this has been wonderful. Even the ones, even the guy that's so mean, right? Gray Use has a soft side too, a vulnerable side, a side that's been through loss. And yeah, everybody reaching out like that, it's been good. But so one, I tried to listen to a little bit, and I can't. But one creator said something like, yeah, that she's going through a horrible time, and I don't know if she'll ever be back, or something to those lines. I don't know when or if she'll ever be back. And I just listened to those words. And I thought, yeah, I don't know when I'm just going to be able to sit here and say, okay, let's look at this case, or but to never connect, to never be back, to never connect with this community that is supporting me, I can't imagine that. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. So it's like, it's so much more. It's like this big coffee meeting or whatever. And it's so much more than what we cover. It's so much more than that. I've met some of the greatest friends of my life here, people that I've connected with in real life. I've had people, like I said, reach out to me through this that I've never heard their name, and they said they've always remained in the background, but they found the channel because they went through a big loss. And, so, yeah. So that I can't imagine ever saying no, that I can't be back, because that's like losing your biggest support system. And so many people here that have gone through something similar. That's what I'm saying. It puts you in touch with so many people that have said, look, I lost my 26-year-old son 3 years ago, and I can tell you this, or I can tell you that, and I'll tell you this. And yeah, I wouldn't connect with those people in my everyday life. And with this freaking COVID life, I'm not connecting with anybody. You know what I mean? There's nobody. There's not a time to feel so freaking alone as this time. Yes, he called in, yes. Thanks, Louisiana. Oh. Thank you. I'm trying to read the chat. It's hard. My mind is not, but I appreciate it. I will come back. I do read it. I do read it. I have read all your comments. I have read your emails. I appreciate them so much. Thank you so much for your super chats. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for being there. And I'm going to need you to be here for me. That's what I'm just saying. I'm going to need you to be here for me and not to give up on me. And I won't always be. I don't always want to be sad or drag or anything like that. But I can't imagine losing the support or I just can't. And so, yeah, I may come on and talk to you at different times when I can't sleep or when I feel like I'm going to want to go out of my skin. And they will be different and they will be raw and they will be emotional. And then, I don't know, maybe there's a day that I just say, look, I want to come on and just do something fun. But I don't know. I don't know what it'll be, but I haven't abandoned anyone. I haven't. I'm gonna need support more than ever. And I appreciate it. And I thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for holding myself, my family, my son up in prayer. I can take all the people say, what can I do? Pray. Just pray. But thank you. And I'll go now, but I don't know, maybe I'll try to lay down a little more, I don't know. But thank you all. I love you all. God bless you all. And thank you for being here for me. I don't know how. I don't know how I would have done this if this COVID time and you can't be with anyone. I mean, I don't know how. And I don't know how I would have connected with so many people who have gone through a similar loss that have been helping me. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I will just stay safe. I love you guys. God bless. Prayers for all of you that are going through stuff. I will keep praying for the community. All right, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.